Super Rugby Power Rankings, folks, for 2026. We're back after 2 rounds of Super Rugby action to rank the 11 sides from bottom to top. Who is in form? That is the idea behind the Power Rankings. So we're looking at things a little bit differently from the table where you just get 4 or 5 points, or losing bonus points and that kind of stuff. We're looking at who did you beat? Was it a big team? Was it an easy team? Was it home or away? Was it by a little? Was it by a lot? And we're putting more weight on recent results than early results. So by round 5, round 1's fixtures won't be quite as relevant, whereas the table is static. The power rankings are designed to be dynamic. Ultimately, they're supposed to be a bit of fun. I should say I have carried over some of the form from last year and inserted it at the start of the power ranking. So teams like the Crusaders and Chiefs, who were the finalists, bring a bit of a head start in, whereas teams like the Drua, the Force, the Highlanders, who kind of finished towards the bottom of the table, have got a bit of baggage to clear away. So keep that in mind. Let's start at the bottom. The Drua, they've lost both of their games, including one at home to Moana Pacifica as well, who weren't exactly a kind of heavy hitter side. So pretty disappointing. I don't think their travel schedule is that fair because they're like Fiji 1 week, Australia the next week, back to Fiji. So it seems kind of tough for them. But yeah, it's not been a great start to the season. None from 2 for the side who finished bottom last year. Then the Force are in 10th. They've dropped 2 home games to start the season, which is likewise not ideal. They, kind of like the Drua, have the travel issues being at the fringe of the geographical edge of the competition. But they've had both their games at home. Not much between them. You could rank them the other way around. But either way, these are your 2 bottom teams. Both played 2, lost 2. Then there's the Highlanders, and I should apologize. That's why I'm wearing your jersey, because I don't feel like the power rankings has been fair. But this is the baggage from last year. You didn't finish well last year. So that has carried forth to the start of the power rankings. As I said, we'll reduce the effect of that as the season pushes on. 1-1. 1 win, 1 loss, and it was a narrow loss too, plus a good win over the Crusaders, who were the reigning champions. Should be higher, I think. But the power rankings have spat the Highlanders out 9th. If I was going to adjust them manually, I'd be boosting the Landers up a fair bit for sure. It's been an encouraging start to the season. Then these lads, the Crusaders, who are none from 2. Nobody expected them to be getting beaten by a record scoreline by the Brumbies, and then they lost their opener to the Highlanders as well. So none from 2. It's way too early to write the Crusaders off, but even with that boosting from being the reigning champions, they're still down at 8th. But yeah, none from 2. They'll come back. The Crusaders are still the Crusaders. I can't see them not finding some form with the squad they have, but it's been a tough start to the season for sure. And then there's the Reds, who have had the bye and open with the loss to the Tars. So it's a bit of an awkward one having the bye in round 2 because you just get started and you back off again. So I don't think that's ideal, but maybe it's given them a week to reset and prepare for their round 3 fixture. So that's your kind of bottom half. Then these are the kind of playoff spots. Moana Pacifica in 6th, a 1-1 record, just like the Highlanders. They finished with a better final season record than the Highlanders last year, obviously, so they bring that forward. But they still missed the playoffs, but they were close. But yeah, 1-1. Good away win in Lautoka, which was a little bit unexpected in terms of the margin especially, but Lautoka was supposed to be a fortress. But then round 2 with the travel factor, go to Wellington, make 7 guys on debut, they got put to the sword. So it's been mixed, but I think they'll find some stability as the season goes on. Then my Blues, who are not convincing, and that's their kind of, I don't know, it's a fair enough spot. It seems to be kind of where they finished last season, which was like bottom end of the playoffs. They just snuck in last year. Opening loss to the Chiefs. Can't complain too much. It was a close game, and the Chiefs are a good team. Made the finals in the last few years. And yeah, the Blues weren't convincing in that game either. Go to Perth, which is a bit of travel to do. A bit of a scrappy game, but too good for the Force. So unconvincing, but it's 5th. And then the Canes, who've only had the 1 result thus far. It was a big one. It was a big win over Moana Pacifica, which was potentially a bit of a banana skin with them having their first game and Moana being on their second. But the Canes handled it well, especially given that Brett Cameron went down with another serious injury. So far, so good, but we're only 1 game in for the Canes, still behind most teams. Top row, the Tars. I hope they can maintain some momentum because with Super Rugby, there's always some teams who start quick out of the blocks and then fall off a cliff. The Rebels used to be really good for that. And then there's other teams who start slowly and kind of build into the season. So the Tars are 2 from 2. Reds in their first week, Drua in their second week. It'll be interesting to see once they get some tougher tests, but you can only beat the teams in front of you, and they have done that thus far. Then there's 1 and 2. I think the two clearly most impressive teams of the season. Who do you go 1? Who do you go 2? I got the Chiefs with 2. 2 away wins. Beat the Blues in their first one. Beat the Highlanders in their second one. Neither was like a big emphatic blowout scoreline, but they were both good solid wins, which is kind of what champion teams do. Even when you're not blowing teams away, you still find a way to win, and that's what we've seen from the Chiefs. Some absentees in their lineup as well. You feel like they're only going to get better. Then the Brumbies. Brumbies are into first. Always a good team, but geez, nobody saw that result against the Crusaders coming. Maybe the result, but not the margin. No one saw them breaking the 26-year drought with that kind of massive margin down in Christchurch. So very, very encouraging. Both these sides, 1 and 2, away wins. So those things are like gold. But those are the rankings. As I said, I think the Highlanders are the ones who are the most hard done by after 1 week. I'm still, as I said, not convinced about my Blues. Moana's kind of played 2 very different teams in their 2 different games. The Drua and Force need to find some points soon because the season's not that long where you start to get left behind. And yeah, we'll see what the Waratahs can do as the season goes on. I'm hopeful they can find some consistency and be a real threat. But you guys let us know your thoughts. Power rankings are back. People have been asking about Team of the Week. I don't know if we'll do Team of the Week for Super Rugby, but maybe some kind of highlight on the players, not just the teams, would be interesting as well. If you guys watch them, I'll make them. So subscribe, like, tell your friends, all that jazz. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.